Hi everyone, Cohh here with another thoughts video, this time for Borderlands 3. Borderlands 1 and 2 were good games. They fostered giant, very virulent communities. They've been following the game for years. A lot of folks were very hyped for 3, me included. 4 was a little bit weaker than I was expecting. You're expecting them to reinvent their gameplay loop. You're simply not going to get it. The thing about Borderlands 3 is that it was super cringy, didn't really move it forward, like not very angled towards kids, it felt like in a lot of ways. Tiny Tina's came out, more interesting mechanics, much more engaging story for people like me, not everyone, but a lot of us enjoyed it. Borderlands 4, however, from everything we're seeing, looks to be continuing exactly the same core of Borderlands. But they're adding a lot of stuff that could actually be really great for the franchise, like movement stuff. Like that's actually a huge deal in a game like Borderlands. The grappling hook and being able to double jump and like dash around in the air and stuff, that's gonna be kind of huge. Like that's a big deal for the franchise. Even though it seems like a very basic thing at heart in other games, it's a big addition here. And then more importantly, the story, I'm much more on board with what I'm hearing about the humor in this one, particularly not just from people who have played it, but also the lead writer himself and what he finds funny and not funny. So yeah, I put up a tweet basically saying like, finally, this could be good. This could be like the next Borderlands we were kind of hoping 3 would be, but wasn't. So hopefully it'll be good, man. I kind of missed Borderlands. I missed Borderlands after 3 and Tiny Tina's was good. So hopefully this one will really bring the whole thing back.
Yeah. Yeah. Dan, what were your thoughts on the footage and presentation and everything from yesterday?
One thing I loved was I didn't see any legendaries for most of it. Like there was only 1 or 2 legendaries that dropped, which makes that legendaries were actually something that to chase and were impactful.
They tried to carefully say, and as best they could during the show, that there will be less legendaries without saying there would be less loot, which I found was interesting. They were like, there'll be less legendaries, but it's okay. It's okay. Not but no, I completely agree with you, Dan. I think it's much better. It got to the point in 3 where you just had so many, they just kind of lost their specialness. Like they just they felt like you had, a bunch of blues, you had a bunch of legendaries, right? So I hope it goes back to exactly like they were talking about in that.
If everything's legendary, why would I ever use a blue or a purple? Like if I could just wait for a legendary, it just kind of made it the balance way off.
Yeah.
And more importantly, it makes it so you can't use anything less than a legendary in like everything, because there's so many of them that it's just, there's no point. Everything else becomes invalidated.
They said their goal was to make it so that there weren't really bad weapons. There was going to be weapons that are better than others, but they didn't want anything to feel bad, which in the previous game, some weapons just felt terrible. Some manufacturers felt terrible. So it's like, it seemed like every weapon people were picking up were usable and like playable. I think that's going to make a huge difference.
I mean, that was the resounding biggest feedback I feel like about Borderlands 3 was like, all the other loot is just gold fodder, which I'm going to use to gamble, and then I'm going to sell anything that's not a legendary, because why would I ever even equip that type of stuff?
Randy was on Moxie stream and did say that this game will be shipping with more in-game than they've ever had in any other Borderlands at launch.
Oh, wow.
So, like more late-game chases. So they've really been focusing on in-game.
Nice.
To really give you stuff to do when you reach max level.
Good. Very nice.
It wasn't without some Randyisms. I particularly enjoyed the moment where Randy was talking about the different additions for the game. One of which there's actually news around because they dropped the price.
And we did it, you guys. The price isn't up. $69.99 for the base game, right? That's a big victory.
From 80 to 70, so it's now a $70 game this time around, whereas a week ago and whenever all that drama happened, it was $80. But the Randyism was that it's like, if you want to support us to get those bigger versions, that means we can make more DLC, and we want to just keep making more DLC for you guys for the game. And it's like, man. And
the more you guys show up with the pre-orders and purchasing the special editions, the more energy we get hyped to put into that downloadable content.
The line about get those pre-orders in, because that makes us more jazzed to make you more Borderlands.
Yeah, it's just like, come on, man, like, come on.
Randy. And
you know what? Look good too.
Yeah,
he did manage to make it pretty awkward, but it was very cool seeing the team.
Borderlands 4 team, come on out, you guys. Let's give it up for them. These guys make it happen. These guys make it happen. These guys make it happen. This is where the magic is. This is where the magic is. Yes.
Oh, yes.
I don't think he necessarily needs to sit there yelling at them about how great they are while he does it. But, because you definitely can see a few of them be uncomfortable over that.
Mhm.
But it was really cool to see the team. That was great.
Everyone on that team is a trooper because we get to experience Randy like a few times a year. They get to experience him every day. So I
Dude.
applaud every one of them on that stage.
We don't talk
right.
about this like anyone else. And he brings it on himself, to be clear. We're not
He
just like
does.
randomly going after this guy. This is all,
Yeah.
to be blunt, I feel like he's earned some of this. He has.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
There you
has.
go. There you go.
All in good fun. All in good fun.
Yes, absolutely. This is the game that has the September launch date, right?
Yeah, September 12th, I believe.
Okay, cool. So this will be the pre-Arc Raiders experience, I would say. At least that's where I put it on my radar.
I wanted to do a 100% run of 3, but it was so cringy that I was not able to like do it. I lost investment in it. So I'm hoping I can bring it back for 4.
Gameplay
The main
was
villain looks a whole lot more interesting than this one did.
Yes,
than the
dude.
one in 3.
I watched some of the streamers play it for a little bit afterwards. Like all of the humor and stuff in it seemed a little more my speed. Like far less. I think the best way I could say is far less like young adult. I don't know. I felt like it was very schizo, very loud is funny in 3, and it didn't really feel that way in this one as much.
Yeah.
It was a nice change.
we didn't talk about it at all, but the classes also, I was a big fan of the classes they showed. I'm interested in all those. They all look really cool, and seems like they have enough like variance. And I think this was even a talking point that they had, where it was like if everyone spec'd into the same subclass within the class, that it's still going to look different.
You can still
because
have
of the
4
options.
distinct different players in a group,
Yeah.
even if you're all in the same sub of the same class.
Yep.
I love that.
Very cool.
I actually forgot to mention one of the most exciting things I heard while I was there. Like one thing that I've always thought about Borderlands is it didn't really seem that deep. There was always like a meta build or 2 per class. Dude, hearing that this one is going to have more abilities than 2 and 3 combined, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot. That's going to be a lot of variance, like a lot of depth in there. I'm actually really looking forward to that. I also really like the ordnance thing, which I think was in 3 in some capacity, but I don't know if it was like this one. But I love the idea of instead of picking up a finite number of grenades or rockets, you just have a timer. So it's like you never feel bad about using them. There's no gear fear in using your consumables because you're always able. It's all based on a timer, so use it when you got it, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Love that approach. I love that approach. So in a game like Borderlands, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all
more
about just fun and the
explosions
booms. Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's a great place to do that for sure.
Exactly. The other thing was the lack of a mini-map. And then I think I saw a tweet from Randy saying that the devs worked their asses off and actually already have a mini-map working in like their most recent build.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. Are they calling it like a combat radar? Are they saying it's not a full mini map? It's something different? I saw people in chat talking about that, but I didn't actually hear it from the source.
It's more of a combat radar. It just shows you where enemies are, not so much like the map itself. So it's just like you can see that there's an enemy here, there, and there. More than like you can see the map on the radar.
Console.
yeah.
I think that's perfect.
Yeah, it's like a radar.
Nice. Vertical indicator and I hopefully that'll be just fine for the people that want it.
Yeah. That was tweeted out.
They did say that,
June
it was
19th.
optional, so you can disable if you don't want it.
Great. Yep. You want to play
Oh, hell yeah,
Borderlands?
let's do it. I'm going to play the hell out of this.
I'm
man.
down for Borderlands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely be playing.
I'll group
I
up
wanna-
anytime you
yeah,
want.
go.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Dan, you're in too. We can do our first big Borderlands stream.
Yeah.
Drop
Hell
frames
yeah.
Borderlands.
I'm
Let's do it.
down.